Hey, all you cool cats. Ready for a little fun? That's what I thought. Pop Talk, Scooby-Doo-Wah-Doo-Wah, Pop Talk. The fun never stops, you know. Pop Talk, if you're a nerd or a jock, run, don't just walk. Get ready to rock, you got Pop Talk.
Now, from Funko Hollywood, it's time for Pop Talk.
Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Talk here on Funko Fun TV. I am Jason JJ Biscuits, and I am ecstatic beyond belief with our next guest, Bobby Moynihan, legend of the comedy world and other. We're going to get into some of that other today. Nice. All right, Bobby, can you maybe give us a sense as to what the most...
Please don't think I'm being rude. I'm just, this one,
No, not at all.
Specific tray is really interesting. Sorry, go on.
In this case, I'm going to take the avoidance of eye contact as a good thing. Can you tell us about the most awkward audition you've ever undertaken?
I feel like I've been lucky, but when you said that, I immediately thought of this. They asked me to audition for the Three Stooges movie for Curly, and I remember being really excited, super, super excited. And, the guy in front of me, it's for Curly. So, you know the sound that they make, you go, nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. And then when they spell it out on the sides. It's like NYUUUC, NYUU. So, but it's that famous sound that he makes, like, nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. I hear the guy doing it, and he gets that, and he goes, Nayuk, Nayuk, Nayuk. Just like that. And I was just like, he is not getting this part. And he didn't. But that, I have embarrassment for something, like, I went like, oh man, that was a layup that you missed right there.
I love that, and I love that it wasn't your awkwardness; it was somebody else's.
Yeah, is that too cocky? I think no. I have blocked out all the nervous ones. I did a movie called Book of Henry with Colin Trevorrow, and I was super nervous to meet him, and then he was wonderful. And he was like, "You're a big Star Wars fan?" I go, "Yeah." And he was like just starting to write the Star Wars movie, and he picked up a notebook and he went, "It's in here." And I was like, and now I have to audition? Like, I was auditioning like, do I steal the book? like I wanted to look inside so bad. But he was wonderful. But I got nervous because I was like around him and around his Star Wars notebook.
So let's kind of lean into that a little bit. Sure. You have taken multiple tours through a galaxy far, far away.
Yes.
Is that something that you are seeking? Is that something that the universe is bringing to you? What's going on there? What's that dynamic?
I think from just a love of Star Wars is how it started. Yeah, I think I've been quite vocal about it. But then I think the only time in my career I ever sent, like, my agents, I was like, with Dave Filoni, I was like, I would love to do that. Like, is there any way I can get on that show? And he immediately sent me a very nice letter saying, like, I don't think we have anything for you right now. Or I got an audition for a character and it was just not right. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to blow it. But then he was like, if I find anything for you, I'll let you know. And then got a call saying, there's this new show coming out, and they wouldn't tell me the name of it. And the second I read it, I was like, this is Star Wars. I was like, I think. And that was Star Wars Resistance, and I got to play Orca in that. And I think it started there, and then they could just see my love for it, and they just kept putting me in stuff, and I'll do it until they say no.
If you could steal any technology from film or TV or fiction, what would you steal and how would you use it?
The Men in Black mind eraser.
I am just a figment of your imagination.
I would use it frequently. I think I would just walk up to people, slap them, and just do it. Be like, what? I would just be annoying with it, not change the world or help anybody. I would just do pranks.
Are you a big prankster?
Not like George Clooney level prankster, like famous level prankster, but I don't mind a good prank. My pranks right now are I feel like my pranks and my comedy are lowered because I haven't been doing as much improv because of COVID. Sure. So I'm just improvising all day with a 5-year-old. Yeah. So a lot of my pranks are like, uh-oh, like my head's missing. It's a lot, like, I get very silly.
Do you have a legendary prank that you could recant for us?
Yeah. Eastchester, I went to Eastchester High School.
Sure.
And my buddies, Mike Henry, Jimmy Ritchie, shout out, way to go, guys. The last day of school, this was 99. Adam Sandler's CD had come out, They're All Gonna Laugh at You.
Yeah.
And there is a very graphic bit where it's a high school principal coming over the loudspeaker and talking about all the changes that are going to happen at the school, and it's very dirty and very graphic. I was in my buddies were like the tech guys in the theater. Like I did the plays, and they were like spotlight and lights and everything, so they were extremely technical. And they figured out that if you just splice into the wire, we can play something over the loudspeaker. And they tried it, and it worked, and we figured it out, and we planned everything out, and oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble for this now. We they planned everything out. They put it like in the back of a computer, so you couldn't see where the wires were, and like a thing, and there was 5 minutes of blank space. And we went to class, so I was sitting. I doubled down. This is what I did for my alibi. I went to the principal's office and was like, "Can you sign my thing?" Like, because I was like, I want him to see me, so he knows that that's where I was.
Yeah, plausible deniability, man.
All I remember was standing there and hearing the feedback from, because that's how the thing started, and knowing it was happening, and just seeing one of the English teachers come out with 2 textbooks and start clapping the textbooks together to make noise so that the children in the classroom couldn't hear it because it was super dirty. And hearing everybody laugh and them being like, "Wait here," because they knew it was me, but then they couldn't prove it. So I got to walk at graduation. Sorry. So now we can't go to jail for that, right? No. High school jail?
Well, actually, Bobby, this is your life, and we got you.
You can see how nervous I am that the cops are coming, that I'm still looking for the perfect accessory here.
So, Bobby, you've had an industrious career over at SNL, right? A legendary comedic institution. Many memorable characters. I'm going to touch on, Kirby, personal love, and a personal love of Kirby,
Yay,
right?
That makes me happy.
I miss my little kitty cat. I miss his little face.
Does that love and affection for cats come from a genuine place?
No, I know.
Okay.
I don't know if I love cats. I went on a camping trip with my buddies. We go every year. We do this camping trip. It was like a tradition thing. And it started getting past college. We're like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this anymore. And the last one that we did, like a friend of a friend brought a friend and didn't know this guy at all. And he kind of just grabbed a couple beers and went in his tent, and we didn't see him for most of the night. And then when we came out, he came out late in the night, and I just went, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And he just went, "I miss my little kitty cat." And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna do that on television."
Hell yes.
And it was just from that. He just said, "I miss my little kitty cat," and I was like, "I get it, man. Yeah. I understand." And that's where that came from. And then John Solomon, one of the writers, was like, "We have to put him in space where people can't get away from him."
Was there ever a skit that you pitched that you wish would have gone to air but just didn't?
Many, many times, but when you said that, it was somebody else. Again, Seth Meyers wrote the best cold open in SNL history when Mike Myers hosted. It was like a Wayne and Garth, but it was around the time of Inception.
Yeah.
So it was it was all these great SNL characters coming back through Wayne and Garth and through Inception, and then it was a slow motion shot of the van going over the bridge, but Toonces was driving, and I was like, "Oh, Seth, he's a genius,
yeah,
and he's the best." But that particular moment, I was like, "I love you very much," because that was fantastic.
You've recently made the transition into doing even more writing in your career, one of which is kind of interesting, which is a jump into children's books. You recently wrote Not All Sheep Are Boring. Can you tell us a little bit more about that book and why?
Sure. I had talking about writing a book, had the opportunity, but then they said, "You ever have," it was for something else, a different idea, and they said, "You ever have a children's book idea?" And I was like, "Well, I'll think about it and let you know." And then very shortly after that, I was hanging out with my daughter before bed, and she said something about counting sheep to fall asleep, and I just went why do people do that? And then I realized it's because sheep are really, really boring. and I was like, is that the truth? And then I wrote a book about how a toad trying to convince you that they're not boring, but he's wrong. Some are boring.
So that's
not all sheep.
That's the end of the story?
Some are terribly boring. Yeah, well, it's...
Maybe
you remember the monster at the end of the book? Do you remember that, the Grover thing?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like he just kept telling you there was a monster at the end of the book, and then the reveal at the end was it's him.
Yeah.
I kind of just stole that idea where it's like you're not going to fall asleep, they're not boring, and then the toad falls asleep because they're boring.
So, Bobby, we've actually captured several of your characters in pop historically.
Yeah.
Everything from Star Wars and that end of the spectrum into...
Is there a Star Wars one?
We've done some stuff. We should talk about that. We've also even done... you played Skeleton famously in the David S. Pumpkin series, which we also
I was
did
going to say
in
the
pop.
3 I know of are the Skeleton from
Yep.
David Pumpkins, Drunk Uncle, and Panda from We Bare Bears.
Yes. Yeah. But is there something that we have yet to touch on, whether it be in your career or otherwise, that you would love to see popped?
I mean, I'm going to go selfish. Yeah, Orca and Flicks from... I would love that. That would kill... The Drunk Uncle one, like, blows my mind. I don't understand it. Like, it's like... In a way, and I've said this before, I spent my entire life trying to get on SNL, and, like, now, 5 years later, at the age of 45, like if I could tell 15-year-old Bobby that they were going to make a Funko Pop of Drunk Uncle, like every time I see it, I go like, that's insane, because it's like next to Rosanna on the box, and you just go like, it's not lost on me that every hard thing that was about SNL, every anxiety, all that stuff is just like, no, I got that Funko Pop, and 15-year-old Bobby really likes it. And then there's another glow in the dark one, and like that's crazy too.
Bobby, can you show off the pop that you've made?
Nope,
Please.
it's very special. I made this superhero with pink hair and purple glasses. She's drinking coffee because it's rough being a superhero. And she has a lot of accessories and friends. She's got a little Funny Funko on a skateboard because that's a tiny little adorable man. And she's got a cat and a dog because that's what my daughter likes. And then these I'm just gonna sprinkle in my shirt. I can't keep looking through here because I'm picky and I'll sit here for days.
Well, come and visit us in Everett or in Hollywood, California. We have a whole Pop People kiosk, and you can just spend all day like shuffling through the virtual queue and figuring out what you want on there.
I have made plans to do that. I've stood online and yeah, I'm coming back.
Don't stand in line. Give us a shout. I'll just meet you there and like we'll sneak you in the back door.
I like it. I'll get
Cool.
your number in 5 seconds. You want to give it out on camera?
Yeah, absolutely.
And your home address too?
555. Again, I'm JJ Biscuits, Jason Bischoff, and this is Bobby Biscuits Moynihan. This has been awesome. Bobby, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Having me, man.
Cool.
I like your
Awesome.
suit.
Thank you. Fancy. All right, guys, this has been Pop Talk. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.